The political stage is set and the various gladiators are up with their strategies, some ready to ensure continuity of the present government, others are pushing to effect a new order, and talks of alignment and realignment of political interest is upbeat. What will be the price for the 2027 elections? The divisive politics of the North versus the South or Christians against Muslims should never again take center stage. The conversation should be about Nigeria and Nigerians, and the most competent candidate should emerge winner. I am Eshomomo Imodu. This is Fireworks. We put them under checks. Joining the conversation today is a former director of publicity of the Northern Elders Forum, a former chief of staff to President of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, and he recently resigned as political advisor to President Bola Tinubu, talking about Dr. Hakeem Baba-Ahmed. Doctor, nice to have you join my talk today.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me.
All right, let's start this way. You said recently resigned as the political advisor to President Bola Tinubu. Talk to us about this resignation. Some persons say Malam resigned because he wants to join what some call the gang up of the North against a Southern president. Give us a true picture of things.
There is no gang up of the North against the South. I don't know anything about that. And I resigned because I wasn't happy about the job. And when you're not happy about the job, you leave the job. And basically, that was what it was.
You're not happy about a political advisor to the president, such an exalted role? Tell us, there is more to it than meets the eye.
Yeah, they give you a job and a job description, and they tell you what to do. And you go there expecting to do the work. But when you're not doing the work, you have two choices. So you sit it out, sit there for 4 years, waiting for something to happen, and you collect salary and sit in a nice place, or you leave. I chose the latter because there wasn't much to do.
No, give us a better insight. There was nothing much to do because I remember you were sent, you operate from the office of the vice president. Or does it have anything to do with the rumored rift between the president and the vice president, and vice president being a northerner, you also being a northerner, you are not comfortable with that arrangement?
You keep going back on this northerner thing. It has nothing to do with that. The vice president's office has always had the unfortunate potential for being idle. The vice president has only 2 jobs assigned to him.
When you said vice president, is it this vice president?
All vice presidents in the Nigerian constitution. In fact, actually, all vice presidents across the world. But most vice presidents under presidential systems, they call them spare tires. I'm sure you've heard of this.
Yeah, very well.
And if you're unfortunate to have a spare tire at precisely the moment you need it, you're in trouble. And when you haven't checked your spare tire and you find that when you need it, it's punctured or it's out of air. Anyway, most vice presidents have the potential to be idle. It depends entirely on the disposition and the chemistry between the president and the vice president. When I left, the chemistry was excellent. But for me, you need to understand, I had done many things in my life. I was a public officer for 35, 40 years. I've done many things. I went into this administration on the assurances that there will be work for somebody like a political advisor. I found that there wasn't much to do.
Now, if we need to fix this system, what are the things you will recommend? Now, some groups are talking about a constitutional review. The National Assembly is talking about constitutional amendments. So what are those things you think should be done that will make this office not that redundant, according to you?
I don't know. I think it's not so much a constitutional review. It's the quality of people who become our presidents. They pick very good people to become their deputies. And then, generally speaking, they become redundant. So they're underutilized.
You pick very good people to become your deputies, and they become redundant?
Yes.
This redundancy you're talking about, it was not like that during the days of President Obasanjo. The Vice President Atiku was one of the most taxed vice presidents Nigeria ever had.
In the first term. In his first term, he was one of the busiest vice presidents ever. In his second time, he wasn't.
The game changed.
Yes.
So where was that system in the first term?
I think President Obasanjo became a president. You know, his background was military. And he had a politician, your typical, your hardened politician. Atiku was actually elected a governor in Adamawa State. He had to give up his governorship to come and become a vice president. He was an exposed, hardened, mature politician. He knew the system. And President Obasanjo delegated huge amounts of responsibilities to him. And I think he did competently well. Somewhere along the line in the transition between the first time and the second time, I think something happened that affected their relationship. And he ended up being a very idle vice president for the rest of the second term. So it depends. Like I said, the politics of managing the vice president in the president's office is very complex. Too many people read meanings into it. Again, for me, it boils down to the disposition of the president, the chemistry between the president and the vice president, and sometimes up to the mischief of people close to the president.
Of people.
Yeah.